Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to the fourth installment of the Just Giggle It Grab Bag, the show where we highlight the best of the Just Giggle It sketch comedy show. That's right, folks, from the good people behind your favorite web series, Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, comes a whole treasure trove of comedy that you may or may not be aware of. And we here at the So You Want to Be an Imagineer YouTube channel are here to break it all down. Now, folks, tonight's installment, basically this podcast is kind of a, it's an examination of comedy. It's kind of putting comedy under the microscope. It's kind of seeing what works, what doesn't work, what could have been improved upon, what they really nailed, what they hit over the head, what made us, quote unquote, just giggle it, what made us, laugh out loud. That's really what it's all about. But the big question is, Dragon, what two sketches are we going to be taking a look at today?
All right, folks. Of course, for this go around on Just Giggle It Grab Bag, we're still following our pattern of doing a sketch and then doing a parody. So our sketch for this lovely evening is the actor's audition thought process, Just Giggle episode number 26. And our parody this fine evening is something current, believe it or not, something brand spanking new out of the box, and boy, is it the craze. Is it the cat's pajamas, to quote the 1920 industrialists that loved their day? A Quiet Place parody.
Yeah, and of course, A Quiet Place making headlines this weekend for coming in at #1 in the box office again after taking a slight dive below Rampage in its second weekend. Third weekend, #1 again, Dragon. That's
Curse you, Rock.
Curse you, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Anyways. Okay, folks, so we're going to start with the actor's audition thought process. Now, this is an early Just Giggle It episode, and it's also the fourth out of Joshua Thomas's top 5, the other one that we haven't covered being Breast Fund, but the ones that we have covered in that top 5 being Pretty Flowers, and then One Night Stand, and then also Jackie. So, Dragon, how would you kind of frame this? How would you pitch? Basically, give me the elevator pitch for why you should watch Actor's Audition thought process.
If you love the show Barry that's on HBO now, or La La Land, or can relate to the LA acting experience and what those poor starving artists go through every day in day out audition, this is for you.
Yeah. So basically, the premise of the Actor's Audition thought process is, what if you were sacrificing, what if there were like real personal stakes to an audition? And what if the audition itself was for something really ridiculous, mundane, and just meaningless? And essentially, we all wonder what the other person is thinking about ourselves. We all wonder what's going on in someone else's head. Folks, the Actor's Audition thought process kind of gleams some of that, kind of gives us a little bit of a taste into the thoughts going on behind a casting process. And let's just say it's not pretty.
Yeah. One thing I do want to hint at with the background here is so this is a very personal. This feels like a passion project of a sketch for Joshua Thomas. I'm pretty sure I think he's really proud of this one. I don't know where I heard that.
I mean, it's in his top 5, so yeah, I'm sure he's really fond of it.
I'm just saying this one. If he's never said it somewhere, I mean, this one definitely feels. I can so see this because Joshua Thomas. He was always just to kind of quick plug here. If anyone out there listens to the Ear Time podcast with Joshua Thomas, and it's Joshua Thomas and his friend Austin. They sit around, they kind of hang out. He basically have some ear time with the fans, so to speak. They kind of reflect on their LA experience, the acting experience, the sketch making, improvisation, Just Giggle It, everything under the sun. They kind of talk about it there in that forum, in that podcast, which I recommend to everybody. It's cool. It's all laid back. Joshua Thomas has Movie Pass, where it's basically kind of also like a movie of the week conversation, or kind of the benefits of said Movie Pass. So you get a lot of You get a lot of bang.
It's a fascinating conversation in its own right, man. I would listen to a whole podcast of Joshua Thomas just talking about Movie Pass.
I'd recommend that. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of here. What I'm thinking of. I mean, you definitely infer from the, like a whole episode about kind of the big, the big move to LA, and of course knowing what I do know about Just Giggle, from the making of, they all came from essentially an improv class, and they kind of struck it out on their own, basically in the formation of Just Giggle It, thanks to Yuma. Anyway. So yeah, this is kind of the personal LA experience as an actor, which very much, again, the C word all becomes relative for another plug here. All of the LA acting experience definitely plays into what we see with one of our favorites from Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the Real World, Addison. Of course, we got a lot of Addison, a lot of like the seeds and the breadcrumbs that lead us to kind of a character like Addison in this. And we get to see kind of like almost like a spin-off of Addison would be like what Addison's life was probably like before Harley Quinn Joker entered her wacky life.
So speaking of which, folks, if you have not heard of the amazing web series that is Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the Real World, go check it out. I have a link to episode 5 in the description. They need your views, folks. In order to make new episodes, they have to get that view count over 1 million. And you know what? I think we as a collective internet are trying our hardest to get the channel awesome subscriber count under 1 million. I think we as a collective internet need to get this video over 1 million.
Exactly. Do it. Do it for your for patronage, folks. Do it because it's the right thing to do. These
and
guys,
also just because it's a really awesome, well put together web series that folks, it's like the purest version of Harley Quinn and Joker that you're gonna get while still being a parody.
Absolutely. It's kind of a marriage. Honestly, it's kind of a marriage of what we have here this fine evening here. It's kind of a parody, but also it's a very well executed, very thoughtfully written piece. It's kind of a mixture of it's as well executed as the next parody we'll be getting into, and it's as well crafted as this piece we're about to get into right now. So I mean, it's a grand mixture of what Just Giggle It's all about. As a new series, again, it's under something very iconic, and as a fan of those characters, super faithful. I can't recommend it any more highly. Episode 5 is probably my favorite out of the episodes right now. And for anyone who's watching the show again, first of all, if you haven't watched the show, just like open up a couple tabs, get it ready, watch it, maybe refresh the page a couple times just to give it the old, the point is, I'm not just saying that for an instant solution, folks. I'm just saying that just watch it a couple times, even if you don't want refreshes. Have it ambient in the background. Have it with play it while the kids are in the room. I don't know, don't have them watch it, just as ambient.
To be fair, I had Actors Audition thought process playing ambient in the background while I was eating dinner, and I listened to it 10 times in a row.
There you go, folks. That's it's comedy and quality in the background. It'll seep culture into your life. Go with it, folks. Anyway, so you watch it. Watch the other ones. You probably want to watch the other ones first, but just have it at the ready so you can watch it. Binge it all, folks. Binge it, then binge it again. Send it to your friends. Send it to your loved ones. Call it a free early Christmas gift. I don't care what you call it. Just watch it.
All right.
And also, for those watching, we might get an episode featuring Addison's little sister, and shenanigans might ensue.
Ooh.
Never know. Is it sister or cousin, Tiki? I forget what.
It's baby sister.
Baby sister. Oh my God, it sounds amazing. I want that episode, folks. Help us out. Anyway. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this fine sketch we have this evening. Number 26, the Actors Audition.
So we'll start out with the framing device that you like so much about JustGiggleIt being this search engine, just comedy-based, sort of robot chicken-esque search engine.
Basically, if you type in the Actors Audition process, if you want to be, it's like Actor 101.
Just audition. This is just typing in audition.
Sure. And in typing in audition, you're seeing kind of what the sketch comedy answer of what an audition would be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I love how it's just the thing that everyone's auditioning for. Is
Tiki.
What?
Image.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, so the thing that everyone's auditioning for is simply just just the orange juice.
So here's what I interpret. So I love that if you pause the call sheet, it's a very true life call sheet. I guess they printed out their own call sheet. It was definitely inspired by
And Dragon, I just realized that by full screening this, I can't access my notes, so we're gonna have to just kind of go. Like I said, I had it playing on in the background, so we'll just kind of have to take it by ear on this one.
All right,
My fault.
Anyway, so yeah, we see the call sheet now. From what I interpreted, I could be wrong, and again, by all means, from the fine folks at Just Giggle It, our writer, also again our writer and director on this piece, Joshua Thomas, and editor. Usually he's a man of many hats, and traditionally wears those. He wears three hats simultaneously a lot of the time. But when we get to like things like the Walking Dead parody we had last week, yeah, that can change.
He just wanted to say Mr. Rick.
Exactly. So the call sheet, to my interpretation, is that it's so it's a call sheet of the dreaded and grueling audition process that says, I believe the project's called Raking It In, which of course is a joke about raking in all the money, like what some actors think they're going to get out of it. And I think it says OJ at the top as an orange juice, and I want to say it's the project's called Raking It In, like a movie or a show, and the OJ is just their abbreviation of what the scene is, what the audition scene is, like it's the orange juice scene.
Okay, I took it as they're auditioning for an orange juice commercial, but
initially I thought that's what it was, Tiki. But then I freeze frame again. There's a project name, so I assume it could be again like they're playing husband and wife they're playing a scene. But you're right, it could. I mean, folks, again, clarify for us if you can. Like, is it an orange juice commercial or is it an orange juice scene? Because I've read it as scene, you read it as commercial. I think he might be right. I don't know. Anyway,
well, I love how the first thing we see outside of that is basically what I've grown to consider JustGiggleIt's good luck charm, which is the dear beloved Alex Poncio.
Poncio.
Now, Dragon, let me just say, after our little Walking Dead parody discussion last week, I must have gone back like at least 10 times just if I'm feeling like I need a pick-me-up, and just gone back and listened to his little monologue of like, like, you have a problem, Rick. You smell. If you shooting my best friend is not the biggest concern, but it's your smell, I'd say you've got a problem.
I just want to say there's something ironic with the fact that we did that parody before we did this week's parody. I'm just gonna like kind of throw that out there right now. There's something very ironic about it.
Oh God!
I'm just saying, it's dawned on me at this very moment that, oh my God, it's good. Anyway, with Poncio, let me just say this, Tiki. So one of these days, there's going to be a video, like one of my favorite videos of Poncio. One of these days, we'll get to it. He plays the main character. There's two really great Poncio shorts that are there that we'll be covering at some point in the future. They're both hysterical, and he plays kind of this. He plays like a sad, like kind of a Jiminy Cricket type.
Uh-huh.
And it's hysterical, and the way they execute it visually is hilarious. And I won't give too much away, but I mean, it's we'll get there. And the other one is just him kind of Alex Poncio in a psychodrama, very much like a Ren and Stimpy situation. So we have two very varying degrees of Poncio. Just showing, my God, like Poncio brings it when he brings it, man. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, so speaking of, so again,
God, all the guy has to like do is show up on screen for a second in order for us to get into a love fest about it.
I mean, even on the live streams that Just Giggle has been doing, which I do recommend, folks. But again, if it comes down to live stream or Harley Quinn and Joker versus Werewolf episode 5, go with episode 5, then do the live stream. The point is, on the live streams, they have this fun running gag about Rat, where Poncio isn't even on screen, almost like a Force ghost. He's in our hearts, saying Rat, just throwing Joshua Thomas off, on screen. It's just hilarious. Even off screen, he's bringing the laughs. Oh, that Poncio, an American treasure. Anyway, enough Poncio love. So yes, you're right. So we see Poncio and a line of other actors, and basically our line of actors, they are prospective husbands and wives. And again, we see this on the call sheet. They're all husband and wife. And I did notice this, and this is a great little detail. I just want to give him props on this. He's like a detail, it's like the old Pixar edit, sanding the undersides of the drawers of the tables, like doing all the little details that go a long way. I love that if you freeze frame on that call sheet, you see that everyone is given roughly 5 to 10 minutes on their audition. Like they're told to show up, I want to say, at a very specific time, and you can see when the actors show up and by the time their audition is. And of course, it's implied that, okay, they're going to have two people show up so they can play the same scene. You're going to then get some other, the next lineup in. So it shows that okay, the auditions will not take a long time, and it looks like the wife role is given more time, so they can. It sounds like if this is a project, the wife is going to be possibly the star, if not the main parent, the main parent or main spouse, in whatever scene they're doing.
Greg,
So,
I'm sorry, like props to you because you're putting way more thought into the hypothetical project that this is attached to than I was.
whatever it is, I think it read to me that they want to get the wife right more than they want to do the husband. Because again, the husband seems like kind of like a dime a dozen a husband casting call, and the wife seems to be kind of the main role they're trying to. They gave the wife more time. So that's with like either 10 minutes for the husbands to get 5 minutes. Anyway, so that's all conjecture, I guess. Anyway, so they're all the husband prospective husband and wives are lined up saying what's the line, Tiki?
Wow, honey, what a great breakfast.
Also, like there's "Hey Babe" and all these breakfast lines. Then we have
Wow.
Kyle.
And then Walter Jr.'s in the background, like, wow, mom, gee, what a great breakfast.
Well, we have our casting directors in this, but the one who's like the director of the project is secretly it's Walter
Oh
Jr.
god, yeah, Walter Jr. is the one funding it with his secret meth money.
Here or there, it's like a Kickstarter of some. Yeah, we saw that Walter Jr. does tremendously well on crowdfunding, as we saw in Breaking. Seriously, he's really great at crowdfunding. So he crowdfunded this breakfast project, raking it in. He's raking in the meth money for.
Go with our Breaking Bad head canon.
Okay. Anyway, the point is Walter Jr. loves breakfast, so breakfast. Oh my God, it's him televising. Oh my God, Tiki, raking it in is kind of his version of Breaking Bad. That's what the project is. It's Walter Jr. Again, it's about a husband and wife and just having a conversation over breakfast. So it's Walter Jr.
Okay, Dragon, we're going way too far down the Breaking Bad rabbit hole now.
Okay. Anyway, that's the only Walter Jr. reference we're gonna have.
Kind of like cross some sort of like cross-dimensional barrier with that one.
All right. Okay. In all seriousness, okay, enough. That's the only Walter Jr. We know. We had to make it, folks. So we're condensing it to one. Anyway, back on point. So we have Kyle, who is played by Joshua Thomas.
Of course. I love the one bit when he's talking to himself and he like tries to like, wow, great breakfast, honey. No improv.
And what we dig into here is kind of the classic self-conscious, an actor getting self-conscious over the line delivery. So again, like delivering in a variety of ways. And this is very well edited, by the way, all these various kind of takes of the same line. And again, overall, I mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, but seriously, there's this show I've been pitching to Tiki. I know he's going to love when he eventually watches it, but it's called Barry on HBO. Bill Hader and Alec Berg, one of the Seinfeld director and writers. They both co-created and co-developed and co-direct the show. And essentially, it's about a hitman who tries to become an actor in L.A. It's really good, and I've mentioned this.
Does sound like a promising premise. I'll give you that.
Yeah, there's even an actress in that show who I swear to God, I mean this in the most complimentary way possible because it's so delightful to me when I was watching the show. There's an actress in that show, Sarah Goldberg. Looks like a dead ringer for Piper Henson.
Oh God.
I swear to God, it's like the only thing. Whenever I see her in the show, it's like, oh my God, it's like if there's ever a biopic on Just Giggle It, Piper Henson, Sarah Goldberg. That's the casting, man. That's the casting.
Okay,
anyway,
well, we are working on a hypothetical channel awesome biopic, so Just Giggle It. All you guys need to do is get involved in a scandal that brings your whole community down in flames.
No, come on. Don't joke about that. That's not. Come on, we're talking about funny things, not tragic things that could be made interesting in cinema. Anyway, so the point is just Barry, check it out, and there's definitely kind of a Barry. Basically, seen like all the little intricacies of like actors going to auditions and improv classes and so on and so forth. It's very much what Barry's about. So, anyway, okay, let's see. So we have the lineup. Okay, Kyle, he's kind of preparing the line. We also have Megan.
Megan, yeah.
Megan Grant. Yep. And so Megan and Kyle are called, but of course, we're digging like the dirt into the wound with Kyle here. Where he's called by the wrong name. Essentially, we do kind of a Spider-Man one kind of, it's the human spider. Kind of like one is. Do you mean Kyle? Because he is called as Kevin Darcy. So poor guy, like Spider-Man, gets his name flubbed, so he's called in there. We have our casting directors. I presume they're both casting directors. Could be a casting director and a producer, casting director and the actual director. Who knows? I believe it's Jamie Cox as who we're going to be talking about down the line as our female casting director, and Julian Silver as the male casting director.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. So and again,
I
something like
want to quickly point out just the versatility that Piper Henson has in her physical performance, because in this episode she towers over just Joshua Thomas. But in the last episode we talked about, the Walking Dead parody, just with the use of the hat and her just crouching down and sitting down and everything, she was able to play Rick Grimes' 13-year-old son.
oh my God, you're right. I didn't think about that. It's
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that's so impressive, because it's like, it's just like they're both the same person, obviously, but yeah, it's just, props to Piper for getting that physicality down no matter what the role calls for.
I told you she's very talented, Tiki. What I did, see, with the height thing, what I did, because I did like a double take, because I wanted to make sure I went back to the Joker and Harley Quinn to see what the height comparison was between Addison and the Joker, to see, wait, is she taller? Is she like this taller, and within heels, is she even taller than? But it's like it's an all heel thing. So apparently they are like roughly the same size, and with the heels, they just basically did like a almost like an old school Apple box effect on her.
Yeah, I figure it's camera trickery. Yeah.
It is, but I mean, it's well executed. And again, now we'll get into the symbolism of all that when we get there. We're just about to get there. Let's see. So they walk in. They're called in by the casting directors. And again, after watching Disaster Artist and Barry, again, you get a lot of insight into kind of what the grueling casting process is, where they're being taped. And again, this is like that scene from Disaster Artist where Tommy Wiseau and Greg, and Greg, they're Greg Cicero, Greg Cicero, they're they're auditioning for various roles, and we see the varying degrees of success that gets them. And you get like just two people in a closed off room while it's being taped, for consideration. And of course, it's like reading a Sphinx with these casting directors. You have no idea how you're doing. So yeah, they're being cast in pairs, and again, this is very much like a Superman '78 approach. Or back in the day, man, it's probably a common practice now. I'm just saying, for me, I always remember that the story, the making of Superman, is probably my favorite making of story in all of cinema, along with Toy Story. I remember they cast Superman and Lois Lane together to see what the chemistry was like, so again nail down who their Superman's going to be and also who their Lois Lane's going to be in like different scenes with two actors. So that's why they're casting them in pairs. That's the chemistry. So we're in Kyle's head. So the big crux of this, one of the big kind of comedic crux, like where we're kind of analyzing the comedy and all this, aside from just kind of the cleverness and this, I guess, the satire. Would you say it's a satire in terms of like acting experience in LA, kind of like a reflection?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's kind of a social commentary on that specific world, for sure.
So you got a lot of satire there, but you also have kind of internal monologue comedy, which feels very early Seinfeld. Seinfeld didn't do this a lot, but they did it really in the early seasons. Like in the subway, you'd have you'd hear Elaine's internal monologue, and I definitely got an Elaine vibe from Piper Henson in this. You definitely have like an Elaine vibe with the internal monologue, but Kevin's internal. Sorry, I'm getting the not Joshua Thompson.
Thomas Dragon. All he wants to do is have you remember his character's name.
To be fair, though, that was the gag from earlier, though, so I'm not far off with that. So Kyle, it's the point. A forgettable actor.
Dragon. I'm sorry. The Dexter fan in me needs to do this one time. All right, Kyle. Kyle. I'm sorry. I needed to do that. I needed that.
Anyway. So we're in
poor Dexter, folks. That Kyle delivery comes up quite a bit.
Anyway. So we're in Kyle's head. We're in Kyle's internal monologue. And, Kyle, he's worrying about paying rent. He really needs, again, he's very much the starving actor in that he's...
God, I need this. Just, oh, man.
One could say, God, he hopes he gets it. He hopes he gets it.
And then, meanwhile, Piper is, or Megan, I should say.
Megan.
She's just like, this guy is like a foot shorter than me. Why would they pair me with him?
And again, now this is again kind of a satire on the fact that Tiki, especially from something like Back to the Future, is one of the stories that sticks out to me of this in acting is you never want to cast. I mean, I assume this is more lax today, but I mean, as we see here, it may not be as lax as you think because it's always a consideration. It's nothing personal. It is a consideration. You don't want to have one of your actors taller than your other actors. Specifically, in the classic roles, you don't want the girlfriend or the wife to be taller than the boyfriend. Whoever's the lead, you don't want the other one to be
like
tall.
a comedic part of the character and the dynamic.
Exactly, and I bring it back to the future because back in the day when they were casting it, they went with they changed actors. Marty McFly was originally Eric Stoltz, who was quite a great deal taller, and they had Claudia Wells as Jennifer Parker. And when they were casting that, well, I'm sorry, they had another great actress. They had Melora Harding, who was Trudy Monk from the show Monk. She was on The Office. She's really funny, a good actress. I really like her. And I was so blown away, but oh my god, yeah, she's great, and I could totally see her as Jennifer. But when they recast Eric Stoltz with Michael J. Fox, who they won in the first place, he was way shorter than Eric Stoltz, and they had to recast him. They had to recast her with Claudia Wells to match Michael J. Fox's eye line. So I mean, it is a sticking point in casting a lot of times, especially when you're casting couples. You need to find the right height, and it's and I love that we're exploring that here of like just the inner monologue of like they're pairing me with a munchkin here, and it's
so
like, oh my god,
like, please don't suck, please don't suck. And then Dragon, I like, Joshua Thomas, he's doing his best, his character's doing his best, but he just comes out with the most stilted, like, I just love how forced and awkward his delivery of like, wow, babe, breakfast was amazing.
Okay, so here's the most brilliant thing in the whole construction of this team. The writing, I give major props to the writing on this. I love that cleverly the audition is, as it is in real life a lot of the time, it is a quick and frivolous. It's quick and frivolous compared to the.
It's just like which is one of the things that La La Land really did in a dramatic kind of way.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's like it's cleverly, the audition is it's quick and frivolous compared to the preparation and the anxiety that we're really tracking, we're really investing in this sketch. It's we have the real stakes are attached to what's going on in their heads. And by the way, the line you said with Megan Piper Hinson is my favorite delivery of Piper Hinson in this sketch here, where he just says, "Please don't suck, please." Like he's probably gonna suck. Just again, they do feel very much like she sounds like Elaine from Seinfeld, and he sounds like George Costanza from Seinfeld. That's kind of what they're sounding like in their internal monologues here.
Yeah, and then with his delivery, it's like
it's very pessimistic and neurotic.
Like you really get the feeling that he's uncomfortable in his own shoes.
Yeah, and by the way, they're citing real agencies, and again, this is going to be something that we confirm. I don't know if in real life, Joshua Thomas and Piper Hinson, they really were associated with these agencies, because APA Talent, and there's APA Talent, and there's the Beverly Group, I think, a Beverly Group that she cites. They're both real talent agencies, and maybe they're associated with them, maybe not, because I know they did UCB with the improv group. I don't know like how their acting careers like I don't know how that went. So again, they could set the record straight on that. I don't know. So again, in the internal monologue, we had some great lines like, "Oh man, like Goliath's girlfriend here."
But then we get into the kind of the heart of the issue, and this is one of the things that Just Giggle It, Dragon, we've been talking about that they're known for is sort of like taking a comedic twist on a situation and then sort of like kicking it up a notch by incorporating a legitimately dark element into it. And what is that dark element for Piper Hinson's character?
Oh god, it's so tragic, but again, it's so darkly funny. That's the thing. I mean, it's
like you have to laugh at how tragic it is. Just it's one of those things where it's like they just like write her into this emotional hole.
I gotta tell you, this is something that I feel. I mean, I know it's probably still funny on the page, but it feels like something you can really only bring to life in the delivery. If you get the delivery right, because this sounds just really tragic and horrible, and like part of a drama of like she's weeping on the inside, where compared, again, what's kind of funnier, it's where she's missing her grandpa's funeral for this audition. And again, so here's the cutthroat business of it all here. So you have a guy like Kyle. Kyle fears, he won't have enough cash to get home. Like,
My favorite Joshua Thomas delivery is when he's thinking like, I didn't put enough change in for the meter. Great, I really need a ticket right now.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the neurotic, self-conscious, all the worries. And again, that's what we're doing here. Again, it's a really simple scene that they're auditioning for. Like,
no,
hey,
that's
babe.
Dragon. The fact that it's such a simple, frivolous, like it literally feels like a scene with no emotional weight to it at all. And that's what makes it sting all the more. It's like they're miscast, but it's also just the most frivolous nonsense scene.
Like, hey, babe, good morning, honey. This breakfast
is amazing.
Of course, Walter Jr. Oh no, I won't. Sorry, I'm gonna stop myself. No.
Thank you.
Stop myself on that anyway.
Okay, let's face it. Walter Jr. would be the one who gets cast in this commercial.
Well, of course, but then again, he's probably funding this, Tiki.
Well, yeah, but if he's funding it, he would just cast himself. You see, this whole audition is just a legal formality.
See, in reality, it's Walter Jr. doing a disaster artist on himself here. He's starring and funding and directing and
there you go. All right, we're going into the rabbit hole again. Let's get out of the rabbit hole.
Okay, so let's see the rest of the kind of the cheesy, again, like the real bland lines that what the audition is like. Oh, I need to start the day off the right way. You're right. So where's my coffee? and you shouldn't drink coffee, you silly goose. I have what you need right here. And it's I love this, and I love that she's going for the empty glass, because just for the prop, just going for the empty glass prop, and again, as she's doing this, we have like these great lines, I miss you, Pop Pop.
God.
So at the end of the day, I think it's that she has more confidence. So again, I think she's best prepared. I think she's the more experienced out of the two in this scenario here, where she has the experience, she has the confidence, but it's again like that Elaine from Seinfeld thing, where Elaine will push herself and like she'll fight tooth and nail for something, but at the end of the day, she'll if she looked in a mirror, like how sad she was, she'd be really bummed out at how sad she was at some of the lengths that she's gone not to do something. I think that's kind of what we have here. Where again, she's very confident, she is qualified, but if she held a mirror up to what she's doing, like I miss you, Pop Pop, like oh god, like what at what cost am I doing? Am I doing this audition where Kyle needs it to get by?
Yeah, and Kyle is he's just the stereotypical like struggling actor who's just getting by the skin of his teeth, and that skin is just wearing really thin.
So he has the orange juice. And Tiki, do you have the line, or would you like me to?
Go ahead.
Orange juice. Yeah, aren't you glad it's
aren't you glad it's orange juice?
I love and Tiki. I'm gonna give Piper Henson all the credit in the world on this. I'm just gonna assume that she did this. It could be entirely by accident, but who cares? I'm just gonna give her the brownie points anyway. Just the pause that she takes, it feels like a pause, just an acknowledgement of how like you can't really sell this line, or aren't you, again, such a cheesy, lame joke. Aren't you glad it's orange juice? Again, that pause between it's and orange juice, because again, it's like there's no joke here, but again, it's like only JustGiggleIt is clever enough to formulate a joke where there is no joke. Tiki, that's how clever the folks at JustGiggleIt are. It's like there's no joke here. It's like literally. Again, it's like it's a bad joke. It's like how in Albert Brooks in Finding Nemo, it's like he knows how to tell a joke wrong. It's kind of like that. It's like this is how you tell a joke wrong, but right.
Yeah.
You betcha. Anyway, so then, okay, so that's the audition, folks. I kid you not. So that's primarily the audition, but we're not done yet. So we have the wrap up of the audition.
And Kyle's just like, that's it? No notes? No second run through?
That cracked me up. And that cracked me up so much. No notes, the second reading, because again, it's like very much what? What a waste of time. And then of course, just as he's thinking all this, thank you. And again, with that line, I love the delivery. I think it's his best delivery in this, where he says thank you. And this and it has a really funny line, but this is like kind of the well timed blurry of thank you. What that thank you communicates is, yeah, this is the actor's cycle of abuse. They're fame junkies at the end of the day. You know, they want the shot at it, and at the end, they're going to subject themselves through all of that just for a chance to say that embittered thank you, like, thank you for not helping me. Let's see. So again,
Piper ups the ante, though. Megan ups the ante by thanking both of them. And then, of course, Dragon. This might be the most relatable thing in the whole episode for me, where Kyle's just like, "Oh, great! I didn't thank both of them. That woman probably hates me now."
and this is like the Seinfeld of it all for me too. This is like the mundane semantics that I love so much. It's just like the whole like, oh man, it's like the whole like it's like the Big Salad episode of Seinfeld where it's like you buy someone salad, but your friend gives that person a salad, so they get the thank you, they get the credit. And says, wait a minute, I bought the salad, I should get the thank you. It's something like that. Yeah, so anyway, so now he's like, oh well, now that woman, the other casting director, well, now she hates me. Let's see. So then we have, and this is nice. There's like a pleasant, and again, I wonder, and one of these days we might get this on the new show that Just Giggle has as like an additional plug, because why not? Heightened, where they kind of read between the lines, where reality and fiction meets, where they kind of have a heightened version of like real life stuff that's happened in Just Giggle It. Where this might be like, hey, this might be how Joshua Thomas and Piper Henson met before the improv group or during the improv group. Who knows? They have a pleasant compliment on the surface. Nice. Hey, it was nice reading with you.
And then Justin, or damn it, I did it, Joshua. I'm sorry.
I knew it.
Joshua is looking down at Piper in heels, and he's just like, "Why would you wear heels?"
And she says that, then we have the thing that cracks me up with Piper Henson. She killed me with this moment. You got to remember, Piper Henson's actually a really good singer, and she's done the songs on. I know she's done at least 2 songs on Harley Quinn: The Joker vs. the Real World. Suffice to say, she probably has done the other songs on all the other ones. She sang "Oh Danny Boy." So here she's saying, "We represent the lollipop guild, the lollipop." And she says it with such kind of like derision and not hate, but like such disrespect in her voice. It's so funny.
It's just like, oh great, like you joke of a human being, like you just ruined my day, and I can do nothing but mock you in my head.
Yeah, it's oh god, it's so hilarious. They both have wrecked each other's days. So okay, so then this is where they bring it all home to. This is where in terms of the writing, this is where we bring it all home right here, where the female casting director says, we'll be in contact. Again, what the casting director has to say, so honestly, let's face it, in all honesty, so the place doesn't get shot up by like an actress. Like, why did I get that role? So they always have to say, oh, we'll be in contact. Basically, so there's no like follow-ups or it's them covering themselves. So then I love the writing on this. From both of them, in the internal monologue is so great. And this is probably the other Joshua Thomas delivery along with that thank you I really love, where he says, and I'll be homeless next week. Yeah, he needs that rent money. And as he says that, she says, forgive me, Papa.
Oh, God. Oh, and again, it's so dark. It's so dark.
Tiki, I tell you, part of me, I want to do a Bates Motel parody so much, and I want Piper Henson to play Vera Farmiga like there's no tomorrow. I really do. It'll never happen, but just saying. Anyway, so then they have like the collective thank you. I'm just saying she has that command over comedy and drama. It's like knows how to play the dark comedy so well.
And then at the end of the day, our casting director is just so full of himself, Dragon. He's pleased as punch, and he's just like, send in the next 2, please. And then what do we hear in his head?
I'm so powerful.
Which is that's just a great kind of like, punchline to the whole thing.
It's a great, it's so funny. I'm inferring here. I'm inferring that, Joshua Thomas, like various other actors, there's kind of inferring, like, it's basically him in writing, saying how every actor feels about the casting directors is somewhat true. Of like, they're just like acknowledging, I love playing all these psychological mind games with all the little people who come and audition for the parts. I love it. I get off on this power.
All right, so final thoughts on the actor's audition thought process.
Yeah, it's so clever. It's very honest in the execution. It definitely feels like the most personal sketch yet that we've gotten out of all of these. It feels like the most personal to the people who made it. an inference, but that's what I get from it. It's a commentary on what actors go through and sacrifice. Again, if you like Barry and you like La La Land, you'll love this. I appreciate the good old internal monologue comedy as well as the really smartly written kind of satire of it all. So it's a very this one I feel might be. I think it's the cleverest of all the ones. It might be the cleverest of all the sketches we've done so far. It might be.
Yeah, this one's a lot of fun. I think it's very well made. It's very professional. It's really sharply written. We get a lot of good one-liners, but most importantly, I feel like this episode is a great example of how Just Giggle It kind of like balances the line between sort of that dark comedy and also the ha-ha comedy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the most recent sketch that Just Giggle It put out just this past week.
You touch it, it's going to burn your fingers. It's so hot off the presses, folks.
This is Piper Henson's reaction to us covering this sketch so fast.
We're going to talk about that shot. We're going to get there.
All right.
So I mentioned the disaster artist, folks, and I did mention it for a reason because so a little bit of background on this. So this, of course, is very recent, based on the Quiet Place. Tiki's going to take a lot of the reins on this one because, again, very much like The Walking Dead, Tiki's going to be the expert on this.
Sure.
I've only seen the trailers, like a trailer or two on this, and again, we're going to have kind of a similar position that we were in with The Walking Dead, and again, kind of a fun inverse in certain respects that I can't wait to get to. But so anyway, so this is directed and edited by Joshua Thomas. And again, Joshua Thomas, he's a darling of an editor. That guy, oh my god, knows how to edit a scene like there's no tomorrow. And my god, the editing, Tiki, and you can speak to this more than I can. Tell me if the editing is pivotal in A Quiet Place, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I can say that the great thing about this parody is that it doesn't just like mock the whole idea of, like, oh, haha, it's A Quiet Place, but a fart joke, But no, they get the tone and the pace and the clip of the movie down pat.
I think I left this as a comment on the on the video, but just in case, yeah, I'm pretty sure I left it there just to echo it again. This essentially, this sketch has the jaws of fart jokes in it.
God.
I think that's an accurate summation, and I mean that in the best of way. I mean, like it's the jaws of something. The jaws, it's huge Spielbergian props right there. So this is like the jaws of how you execute a fart joke, and more on that later. Anyway, so
folks, we've kind of been talking about how these sketches represent different brands and different stylings of comedy. Of course, the acting audition thought process was it was an inner monologue driven humor. This it's an extended fart joke. We're just going to come out and say it. It's an extended fart joke, but I feel like it works well within the context of the movie it's in. And it's just, as Joshua Thomas in the live stream said, it was just like, it was begging to be written. This fart joke was begging to happen.
Oh yeah. I just love the, me too. I love the logical logic, and I love when we can find kind of a logical question in something like this, and we can bring it to the forefront of where again, just that fits the parody venue so well. When you can, it's kind of like what we see all the time, like how it should have ended, where we kind of take. It's kind of like the Inception thing, where you take, okay, what happens if you think about certain things when you're in the dream? Well, okay, well, then they would come to fruition, something like that. Anyway, so this might be the most up-to-date parody that JustGiggleIt's ever done, I think. I think it's the quickest they've ever turned something out. I could be wrong on that. Again,
the movie's its third week of release, so...
It's pretty quick. It's pretty up-to-date. So I think it's the fastest they've ever done a parody. And the reason, what I was getting at with the Disaster Artist comparison is that apparently when they were filming this, to get the emotional performance, as we see before us with the wonderful Piper Henson, they kept joking to each other on the set while they were filming this in the Tommy Wiseau voice. More emotion. The main direction to Greg, and then vice versa. Tommy, you gotta add more emotion to. Oh, Greg, that's easy. More emotion. Again, the direction that finally got us. The whole. I did not hit her. I did not hit. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. All right.
So a lot of that back and forth from what I heard in the making of this. So. Day 89. Start us off.
Yes, and just to give some background on A Quiet Place.
Oh yeah, sure.
My favorite movie of the year so far. It's definitely number one. I love it. Dragon, to me, I think I might feel the same way about it that you do about Shape of Water. I think it's an absolute masterpiece.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure? Because honestly, I think at the end of the day, it's. I mean, I'm not trying to take the movie down a punch because it's still a compliment. It feels like it could be the Get Out of the year, and that I feel it's going to be, it's going to earn the praise and everything, but I feel it might be definitely this month. I think it's going to be overshadowed by other things that come out this year.
Well, I'm just saying in terms of how emotionally you attach to
Shape of Water.
Yeah. Like this, that's the thing. Like this is an emotional movie. It's a harrowing movie. It's not just a scary movie. And don't get me wrong, there's set pieces in this film that are just absolutely like beyond edge of your seat. We're talking like we're talking edge of your seat falling onto the floor like you can't believe how suspenseful some of the stuff in this movie is. But at the end of the day, it's an incredibly heartfelt story about a father and his sacrifice for his family. So I love the movie. I think it's incredibly well shot. I think John Krasinski was a visionary when he came up with it. And yeah, now Dragon, just kind of give us what your cursory knowledge is of Quiet Place.
Okay, my cursory knowledge is, they're in a situation most likely post-apocalyptic, where if you make a sound, you're going to be taken by an unseen creature, and they've gone to extreme measures to not make a sound. And one of the big hallmarks, I mean, they're inside a house, creaking floorboards and stuff. There's a danger. A lot of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt looking very scared, very very quiet. And one of my favorite details that we don't have here, and we'll get there, but I'm sure it's for a reason. T can clarify when we get there. Just, my favorite detail from the trailer: the sand. I love the sand. Darn it, I love walking on sand.
Okay, honestly, with the sand, I kind of feel that was just a logistics issue with them.
Yeah, sure.
It's like it would be really hard to get. Like, how would they do that? Would they have to like get go to the beach, get buckets full of sand, bring those buckets full of sand to a forest to make the trail? I'm just saying, from a logistics filmmaking point of view.
You have a point there. That's probably what it was at the end of the day. But I thought it was like, you saw a movie. Tell me this, is the bridge a center point in the movie?
Okay, I'm just going to say straight up, this is basically a parody of the cold open of the movie.
Okay, well, is there a bridge?
Like a beat-by-beat parody of the cold open.
All right.
Well, I mean, obviously not beat by beat, because the cold open doesn't open on a fart joke, but...
If it did, though, I mean, that'd be Kevin Smith's A Quiet Place. No. I mean that in a good way, too. I mean, I like the works of Kevin Smith, but you're right, it would be quite good. And to be fair, he doesn't do as many fart jokes as he gets credit.
Dragon, there is one big missed opportunity in this sketch that I'll get to. To it.
Now I think about Silent Bob, because actually it would make a good Kevin Smith.
Oh my god. Silent Bob would, rule this apocalypse.
He'd be like the... You're right, he wouldn't. It'd be like Mad Max, and he'd be the guy with the mask on.
Oh my god! All right.
Anyway.
So basically, Dragon, you remember in the trailer the bit with the little kid and the robot goes off, and it's like, why would the little kid be so stupid as to have the robot to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cold open. The cold open is essentially the little kid gets killed because of the robot.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And that kind of sets up the stakes of like, oh shit, these things are going to kill us any chance they get.
I just saw my own curiosity, Tiki, if I'm remembering correctly. So that scene had the sand in it, didn't
it? The whole movie has sand paths in it. Like, that's a big framework of the movie and how they get around.
I just inferred, because I'm not trying to make it a sticking point. I'm just asking because, again, I love the sand, and when I saw this, I figured, okay, maybe they don't have the sand because this set piece in the movie did not have sand in it. That's what I was curious about. But you're saying that...
No, I don't know. I'll have to go back. I've only seen the movie once. I'll have to go back and because here's the thing. That happens, and then there's like a 2-year time jump after that. So maybe during the 2-year time jump, that's when they established the sand. I'll have to go back and rewatch Dragon.
All right, but the point is just the cold open.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is it day 89, the cold open, or is it just like...
again, I'll have to... I'm pretty sure that I'm going to trust that JustGiggleIt got that detail down, but I'd have to go back and rewatch to confirm that.
All right. Okay, let's see. So, okay, so we have Joshua Thomas as Krasinski, otherwise known as Lee. Is that right?
Yes. By the way, I don't think you ever hear anyone's actual names in the movie the whole time.
Yeah, I guess they need like name tags or something in that movie. They really want to introduce characters or like have like
just like husband, wife, son, daughter, you know.
you need like a Facebook or something just like to point out like, hey, here's Lee. There's Lee. There's Evelyn. So Piper Instant plays Evelyn, otherwise Emily Blunt.
Uh-huh.
And now this is funny. I looked at this and the guy tell me, did you look at the the credits for this episode? Like,
yep.
So Marcus, that's the boy's name, right?
Uh-huh.
So Marcus, he essentially is portrayed by either like a bag of dollars, like empty, like empty thing that Josh Towns is holding, because they couldn't essentially they couldn't afford. I say afford in a joking sense. They couldn't get Sipka to they couldn't get Sipka to play the kid. And this is funny because Sipka, he's played kids in one of my favorite videos we're going to be talking about real soon from Just Giggle. He played a kid in that. And again, he's played kids before, and he's hilarious. He seems down for anything. I'm surprised they didn't get him for this. Maybe it was like he couldn't be carried. Like, was the kid carried in the opening? Well, no, because he had the robot. Yes. Wait, he was carried?
Yeah. Huh. Well, there's 3 kids in the opening.
Oh, okay.
There's the teenage daughter. There's the kid who ultimately survives, who's the other boy, and then there's the boy who gets killed off in the opening.
Wait a minute, tell me this. Don't tell me this. Is Poncio supposed to be that kid, or is it?
Poncio is supposed to be the kid that gets killed off. Yes,
I read that a different way, not having seen the movie. Anyway, we'll build to it. Anyway, so the point is, as yet another kid, Sipka would have played, but he declined because he's too good for everybody. No, I'm kidding. We love Sipka.
God.
Remember, Sipka's our Pokemon announcer. We love Sipka.
All right.
Oh, Joshua Thomas Grand Slam. Love Sipka. Jackie, the other guy in Jackie. Anyway.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. So, let's see. Oh, we have now. This is like this blew my mind. I had no idea about this. We have a Lizzie Poncio, another Poncio Tiki.
Uh-huh.
As Reagan, the little girl. So another Poncio. Who knew? And again, she looks a little bit like Poncio too in the face, which is kind of interesting.
Just for clarification's sake, I'd like to know if this is his sister or his wife.
I'm assuming and hoping sister.
I'm assuming that too, but I just folks, at the Just Giggle It team, if you could just let us know one way or another, because I'm not gonna clearly state one way or another because I don't know, but.
And yeah, folks, sorry, but again, it's kind of hard to tell. I tried looking it up as best I could. I couldn't get confirmation. I'm just honestly just judging from the face. There's a similar kind of face. I'm assuming I see there might be a genetic link out. Again, I'm hoping that's the case.
But again, otherwise, we don't want to assume that a husband and wife are genetically linked. So.
Well, of course not. I'm just saying it might be. all right, look.
Give ourselves that out if it comes to that.
You're right. Again, otherwise I'm going to look really foolish, but fine. I'm going to cover myself again with a Back to the Future theme tonight. I might be like having the McFly family, as we found out in Back to the Future 3. All the McFly men have a genetic predisposition to marry women who look like Leah Thompson.
Oh, God.
So it might be like you marrying women who look like other women from inside your family. You never know. Or look like yourself. I don't know. Anyway, so regardless, we have an hour.
Looks that much like him. I don't want to dwell on this, but
we're not going to dwell on
it. They're twins or anything.
They're not. I'm just saying there was a similarity. Anyway, fine. Just move on. The point is, we have an out. We don't know. Moving on.
Dwelled on that way too long.
Anyway. Anyway, let's see. So the family is trying to make their way to the bridge. I presume, again, as we've confirmed, the set piece in the opening of the film.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. I guess they're going to the home they have in the movie. Again, that's what the cross.
Presumably, you don't. I mean, basically, the movie starts out they're kind of scavenging for supplies at a general store or something. Mm-hmm. And that's where the kid gets the robot. And let me actually just kind of bring up the missed opportunity, Dragon, the big missed opportunity. All right. I don't want to get down on Just Giggle It for not doing this. I'm just saying, man, it would have really fit.
Yeah, the only nitpick I really have in this is no sand. I mean, it's barely anything. So
No, but the thing is, this would have both made the sketch darker and funnier. Like it would have added that Just Giggle It flavor of dark comedy. All right. So in the movie, basically the little sister, or no, I'm sorry, the teenage sister gives the little kid batteries for the robot.
ah,
And that ends up, obviously setting off the robot and killing the kid. And then the little sister has that big regret hanging over her, that big guilt, throughout the rest of the movie. So, Dragon, it was such a missed opportunity to not have the sister character give Poncio a can opener.
I got to tell you, Tiki, and this is gonna be interesting. I had a very different read on the big scene. I had a very because I didn't think it was their brother. I thought it was just another traveler, and I thought
Oh no,
somebody.
no, 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 no. It's the kid. It's their youngest child that gets murdered in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Well, then honestly, if we when we get there, if I tell you what I thought in that scene, if I that's what the point was, it's gonna be still really it's gonna be even darker if that's like the littlest, if that's the little kid.
Okay, but I mean seriously, like if they would have done that, if they would have made the sister give Poncio the can opener that would have led to his fate, that would have been another layer to the sketch where it's like, the sister's just horrified, like, oh my god, I gave him the instrument that led to his doom. All right.
Okay, let's see. So again, stylistically, we're an excellent match
Oh,
stylistically.
stylistically, it's beat by beat. It's like it's perfect, Dragon. It's absolutely spot on with what the movie's like.
Which again, it is. I love that it isn't 100% a like a Space Jam level remake, but at the same time, it's like it's lulling you into that false sense of security where you think you know it's going to happen.
Mhm.
So again, which is a Just
As soon
Giggle
as I
stamp.
saw Poncio, like, heading up the back of the pack, I knew he was doomed. I just didn't know how it was going to happen.
I love when Poncio shows up. There's like a fanfare of you know something good's gonna something awesome's gonna happen. Anyway, so I love this again. The stylistic matches is great attention to sound. Like there's almost no sound, in it. Like it's very low and ambient. Obviously, for the tension of basically the whole gimmick.
The whole movie's like that, Dragon, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw it opening weekend, and my God, what a theater experience.
Yeah. We have this great slow build of tension for for the thriller. It's captured very well. We're again even judging from the trailer, which again it sounds pretty much per what the trailer is, but for the whole movie in a good way.
Uh-huh.
And we're earning the ridiculous and the absurd by getting the style and the IP. You get the intellectual property, getting the movie down packed, down right. Again, aside from me wanting sand, Poncio though. Let's talk about the Poncio though. So Poncio, who plays again, the character is credited as Bo. So
Which, I
like,
mean, like I said, no characters really get name dropped in the movie, but sure, I can buy that. That's the
is
way
he
the
dressed like the
thing.
kid though? Is that's the question? Because again, I don't it's kind of hard to. I mean, I'm going to take your word for it. T. That's these the kid.
Uh-huh.
It has to be. I get that's the gag because initially I thought, like, okay, maybe he's carrying the kid and then we're just rewriting a little bit, but apparently it's 100% the.
Well, no, because like I said, in the cold open of the movie, there's a teenage daughter and then two little boys who
Yeah,
have
yeah,
been murdered.
you're right. It just changes my read on it a little bit. I mean, it's still funny. Anyway, so Bo, the littlest Poncio. Okay. Anyway, Bo is Bo is he's again. I read him as the unwise traveler coming out the back, but in this case, he's the littlest straggler.
Yeah.
So he's
Little kids, Dragon, bless their hearts. They have growing bodies. They get hungry.
he's coming up the back on a path to salvation and safety, on the dramatic path to salvation and safety, to a promised land of silent safety. That's where they're heading here. So we have a great overhead shot. My God, I'm in love in terms of directing this. I love the overhead shot we get here, seeing like kind of a through the like we're
And
coming
Dragon
over like.
cinematography in Quiet Place is amazing. I mean, it's a sight to behold. It's impeccable.
And honestly, I love how they shot the bridge. I know this sounds like we're just looking at every single thing here, but seriously, folks, I mean the way they
Okay,
shot this.
to be fair, there's not really a lot to talk about with this parody, so we're kind of like pulling the strings of what we have here for content.
I think yeah, I know it sounds like so simple, folks, but the way they shot this bridge, it kind of reminds me of one of my favorite bridge scenes here. I love, from Winter Soldier with, with Falcon and Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers, he's flashing back to, the whole "I'm with you to the end of the line" scene. Again, just the way they shot that bridge is kind of like how they shot the bridge here.
Uh-huh.
Well, fun fact. Let's see. So, we have the height trick on Lizzie. It's like good in camera shot where I'm going to assume that Lizzie's they made her look like shorter than Piper Henson and kind of like in the same, basically kind of like the teen daughter.
Yeah.
Kind of height. It could be reading into that, but I assume it was like an in camera trick. So then we have Evelyn. Oh my god, and Tiki, this is great. And this like Piper Henson, she like, oh my god, she impresses me so much in this because she gives like this. I don't know if you call it this. She gives like this slight smile at the safety and comfort that in this tense thriller. Like they're in a very dangerous situation. She gives like that little smile, little smirk. It's like a very slight smirk of like it's like, hey, we're still alive. Almost like a little smirk like that. And then we reveal in the back, and I love how it's a great reveal because you can see him kind of coming out the back, and he's like out of focus, and like you can see kind of like it's almost the big thriller set piece is encroaching upon them. So Bo, and again our big visual reveal is Bo pulling out a big can of
beans,
not just any beans, Tiki, refried pinto beans.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Not just any beans. Refried pinto beans.
Oh, God.
Those beans mean business, folks. Like, again, to quote the great Gutierrez, or to quote the great Gutierrez from Freakazoid, like pinto beans and muffins. Like, revenge is a dish best served with pinto beans and muffins.
And like we said, folks, basically the origin of the sketch is that as soon as Joshua Thomas and company saw Quiet Place, they were like, this is a fart joke that needs to be made.
And again, folks, it's a great logical catch of like, well, yeah, what happens if what happens after Taco Tuesday in a Quiet Place? What happens after the meal?
Uh-huh.
So it's a fun, again, it's such a fun analysis of a fart joke done right here. Again, it's the Jaws approach to a fart joke, and that it's almost a fourth wall. Wait, no, we're not going there until, again, you'll I'm sorry, there's this great fourth wall moment where Joshua Thomas, he turns, where Lee turns and he realizes this. And like in that moment of directing, it's like kind of a big dramatic, like he turns when he realizes he has the can of beans. And when we do that, it's kind of a fourth wall admission of, wait, no, we're not going. It's like he's signaling to Poncio, like, no, we're not going there. You'll kill us all. It's like a you'll kill us all moment. You'll kill the bit with this fart joke. And again, it's like you'll get us all killed in the sketch, but in the comedy construction of all, it's like, hey, no, we're not doing a fart joke that's gonna kill this bit. And of course, it's like he's racing to stop the fart joke almost. It's kind of what the meta quality of it all is. But my God, so we have
we get Poncio just gloriously.
So he's opening the lid.
Oh man, he's just so proud of himself.
Tiki's here. I gotta tell you, Brewster Bowl, my read on this was, it's really dark. My read on this, because I didn't know he was the kid. My read on it was,
your read on it was, let me guess, was that he was trying to kill himself?
Yes. So we have this great musical cue, and they have the turn with Thomas, and Ponce's just chowing down on these beans. And again, he's one of two things. And again, either way it works. And I still think it kind of works if he's the kid, Teague. He's just more sad if he's the kid. Oh. Here's the thing: it's like he's eating these beans out of such desperation. So you either look at it like I guess what it's. Here's the thing: I guess it's actually being played as. He's like Harold from Hey Arnold, where it's like, but I was hungry. Or the idea is this kid so desperately hungry. Like,
oh my God, Dragon, this is the ultimate. But I was hungry. That
he's eating the beans that he has to, or again, the way I read it, the dramatic heft that I think Poncio brought to it. I kind of like that it's up in the air, to be honest with you. But I think what he brought in the performance, you see him chowing down. Seriously, every look on Poncio's face, and he's bringing it, there's a sadness to him that I just can't take it anymore. Now, again, I guess I can't take it because I'm hungry, but I read it as I can't take living like this. And again, the beans would be the ultimate form.
To be fair, Dragon, the whole movie, like even on the kids, it's like you feel that weight of the world.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, here's the thing. So we have a gastrointestinal crescendo building within this, where based on the moment we have right here before. So again, Ponce is really delivering with the facial expression. So again, sad because of just the out of hunger or out of like he just wants to end it all. And the beans would be the ultimate kind of like theatrical way of offing yourself in a quiet place. It's like the whole like, I'm gonna make a sound to end all sounds if I'm going out of this.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's a sound of
I
it's the
think
sound of
with the quiet place, that cold open was meant to be kind of a similar way of like it's kind of a sad commentary on the kid is just yearning so much to be a kid.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Henson here in this is a more the big set piece here, folks, the big Evelyn of it all here, where Henson delivers what I think her best performance in this entire parody is where she delivers this performance without a sound, just the performance in utter silence, and it's again, it's like it's kind of like her. It's like it makes me want to see a Shape of Water parody with Piper Henson as Sally Hawkins because she does such a good job with that dialogue in this,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
she conveyed so much. It just makes me think, Henson as Eliza from Shape of Water, please. I mean, she's so cut out for it. Look at her.
Only if
She's like, look
Ponzio's
at this.
the monster.
What?
I said only if Ponzio's the fish
Oh
monster.
my God! Yes, yes, yes. I think technically, I think James Corden kind of beat him to that, but they would actually do it right though. That's the thing. As long as because in that they had Sally Hawkins talking, which obviously defeats the purpose of a true
Oh,
parody.
why would they do that?
No,
No.
no, it was like she was playing Sally Hawkins, the actress. She wasn't playing,
Oh, okay.
Eliza. That's what
Okay.
the gag was. It was like a Tinder, like a blind date or something.
Still, that's still I
The
don't like
point is, I mean, do it right, folks. We can do it right. We can do it anyway. So anyway. So again, she's given this fantastic performance. Like the emotion again, this is where like that why so direction of like more emotion. Where oh my god, she's just like she's bringing the sadness and the struggle and the severity of the act and the reaction. It's and again, it fits the film, and again, it makes or breaks the bit. It's this is what kind of builds the backbone of what they're going for here. Like it's like you earn and you act as if you're as if you're in the actual scene here, and what she's reacting to is utterly ridiculous and silly. But again with a little bit of severity in there when you realize what this sound means. Again, the crescendo of realization to the audience of where they build and they realize, oh my God, this is silly, but a logical question. And again, it dawns on you as it's executed, like as she reacts, like, oh my God. I mean, it's again, it's not just like it's not a cheap gag. Like they're earning it, and they're making it. And again, what I'm saying with Ponzio's delivering that wiggle room and like the interpretation of Ponzio, and this is like oh my god, it's such a beautiful tragedy unfolding before us, and it's a fart joke.
God.
So again, it's that question: is it hunger or suicide? And again, that performance on
Dragon, I do
Poncio.
think this has a lot in common with the Space Jam thing because it kind of, it takes something. It's so close to the spirit of what A Quiet Place is, and yet it shifts one thing around in a fundamentally different direction.
Yeah. So let's see. So we have again, we also have a Jaws-like workaround for our unseen creature. You know, we have a Jaws-like workaround where we don't see him, but again, we save it with the editing and the timing and the speed. And also, I just love how they shot. I love Joshua Thomas running. I love Lee running. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it looks so. It's very again, it's so superbly edited, and again, edited amongst again running towards the fart joke. I mean, there's something symbolic about that. And of course, the big irony, by the way, the big irony from this parody from Walking Dead, of course, is the stench of it all. Where
Oh yeah.
Poncio, the one who was griping about the stench, is now the one creating the stench himself. So
Exactly.
I mean, again, the folks, she's not reacting to the stench, but she's reacting to the drama of it all. So to make sure this screenshot is not taken out of context.
All right.
So yeah, we put that thriller spin on it, where he's running, and again with that rising action, we have this great. It's such an impactful. It's impactful yet absurd where we ended. Tiki, tell us where we ended here.
I mean, we basically end with like the creature getting Poncio with the crescendo of the flatulence and cutting to black right before we see the creature.
and just the immediate cut. And again, it's like honestly, it's like her falling, like almost like, mind, does she fall to her knees? Like it's either she falls to her knees or, but the point is like she gives
Jack.
like right again. There's right. Okay, no, she doesn't fall to her.
No.
She doesn't fall to her knees. Like she like her hands like drop. Like again, she like kind of has that moment of sadness, and then his reaction is like like the processing of the sadness. I love just
Which is
getting that.
definitely a part of the movie, Dragon. In the movie, they definitely linger on that moment.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're taking it in like that. Just that the impactfulness in the absurdity and that immediate cut following. They don't really have a lot of time to process it. But again, just that like both Hinson and Thomas's reactions they're just right. And my God, and of course, at the end of it all, after all of that wonderfulness, we just remind the folks at home that hey, you just saw Alex Ponzio get killed. Well, don't worry, he's fine. He's upside down. Look how happy he is. Ponzio is just saying, "Whoops."
I love
great.
how random that is. It just it's delightful.
And again, after all of that silence, we do a funny line from Ponzio where he says, "Whoops, crazy day for me."
And then I love how I love how they keep in the laughs from everyone in the studio when that was shot.
I'm saying, "Whoops, it's a crazy day for me," just randomly being upside down.
No, that should be another Just Giggle It parody. Like, what would your day be like if you had to do everything upside down?
I would be interested in seeing that. That would be.
All right, so
I don't know how much they can go with that, but I have faith in these guys. They probably get some good mileage out of that.
final thoughts on Quiet Place.
Well, thoughts. It's another excellent parody. They're definitely refining their craft, if not refined it to an excellent point. Again, we've been going through the older videos with the parodies, and they've still been improving vastly every time we keep going to them. And this is just like this most recent example. And my God, I don't know if they can get any better, but I mean, I don't put it past these guys to surprise us. They're delivering, even with a fart joke. They brought they brought kind of a true blue clever comedy twist to it all. Again, they did like an average fart joke, but again, they made everything around it so strong that it took again like a simple lowbrow joke, but it did a fart joke right. It did a fart joke right, and again, as Tiki and I have discussed on various occasions, fart jokes and bathroom humor. It can be done right, okay? It's like not just you don't have to turn your nose up at it, but you have to get it right. You don't want to just make it like extreme. It's like, hey, we had nothing else in the tank, so hey, fart joke, because we can't think of any other funny scenes. They're like a funny joke to fill the scene. So let's just go with a cheap laugh. This isn't a cheap laugh. This is like a big budget fart joke. It's a big budget laugh in the best of senses. It's like my God, this is how you execute that in a cinematic way on like a sketch comedy budget. My God, it's fantastic.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, as someone who absolutely loves the movie, I think this was very spot on with the tone and the direction of A Quiet Place with that added twist of the flatulence. But, much like how Space Jam was kind of like Space Jam, very, very accurately portrayed. But with Hitler, this is Quiet Place with farts. And my God, they do it well. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, folks, but just watch it and, trust me on it. You'll be laughing too.
Well, I guess real quick before we do any final plugs, we should say I will say this: the only bit of criticism I have, it's not criticism; it's just the one thing to be aware of because I don't think it hurts this thing at all. Again, if you haven't seen A Quiet Place, and again we hit it so well at the other side, like Walking Dead. So if you haven't seen, you can still follow along with what the gag is. I feel here again, you're not going to know if Ponzio is playing the kid unless you've seen. You're inferring that from the trailer. So again, it's a question of he's going to be a traveler or a kid. So that's like the only thing. But I kind of like that it's kind of vague and random. I guess I think it kind of makes it a little funnier and kind of a fun reveal. But it's like that's the only note I have is that you risk that when you have silent characters without. Just the names in the movie where no one knows who anyone is, and just in the film by name.
Oh,
so yeah, it's the only little note I have. My God, it's still quite hilarious and awesome in its delivery.
Yeah. All right, folks. So don't forget to check out Harley Quinn and the Joker, episode 5. Link is in the description. And please, folks, leave us a comment and let us know what other Just Giggle It sketches you'd like us to do. We're literally whores for suggestions. Like we really want suggestions, folks. And basically at the end of the day, if you suggest it in the comics, like in the comments, we will do it. Like no questions asked, right, Dragon?
Maybe more escorts. For more escorts than whores, but it's
okay. Well, when I say I'm like lovingly paraphrasing Kevin Smith's, like, oh, dude, I'm a press whore.
Anyway, so yeah, folks. Of course, watch the Ear Time listen to the Ear Time podcast as well, and also write into them as well. And again, just leave in the comments what you want to see. We'll by all means we'll do it. We'll try and fit into the whole parody and sketch framework. So you'll definitely see it. Just a question of just question if it's like you're throwing us all parodies. Obviously, it'd be a parody at a time. So, but we're very open to suggestions. Anyone involved in the sketches, by all means, say hi. Just say if we know at all what we're talking about, if you'd like us to give you any shout outs or anything, by all means, we'll do so. Again, folks, even if you have a suggestion, we'll definitely shout you out for saying, oh my God, this guy's such a great idea for us to watch this. Or we'll say, curse this guy for making us watch this. Why? Again, hopefully, given that Just Giggle has such a great track record, I don't think we'll ever be saying that, but you never know.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, folks. And in the meantime, you haven't seen it because I'm off camera, but I'm actually upside down right now, so I've got to fix that.
Crazy day for him.
Looks like it's going to be a crazy day.